Hi guys! Welcome back to Heavy TV. My name is Ajwa.
And I'm Emanuela.
Today we are going to talk about medical negligence and we are so excited to talk about this topic. And we are so sorry for the silence. We have been busy with academic stuff, but we hope you will enjoy this. Please stay glued to your seat. We'll be right back. Before we start, we want to define medical negligence so that everybody can understand what this is. So medical negligence is a mistake, a medical mistake that causes an unintended harm. And there are some criteria that you have to have in order to classify something as medical negligence. And our sister is going to talk about that.
Okay, so before I start, I just want to make sure that we kind of get the clear difference. Medical negligence is a medical malpractice, but not every medical malpractice is a medical negligence. So if we are talking about medical negligence, what we mean is that you have a health professional. So it can be a doctor, it can be a nurse, it can be a pharmacist. So anybody who works in the medical facility, when that person fails to exercise that standard of care. So in every health profession, there is a standard that needs to be followed. So for instance, in case you have a headache, right? Then you go, the standard is that you are either given paracetamol or something that cures that headache. But instead, if that person gives you a stomach ache medicine, that is not the standard. So at that point, that health professional fails to perform that standard of care that is required of that person. So in order for something to be classified as a medical negligence, you first need to be able to prove three things. And this is also in accordance to law. So the first thing that you need to prove is that health professional has a duty of care to you. And that is easy to establish. So in case you go to the hospital, every health professional has a duty of care when it comes to maybe diagnosis, providing treatment, like disclosing certain kind of informations to you. So that health professional has the responsibility to take care of you, and that is easily established. But secondly, you need to prove that treatment that the doctor or the health professional gave, or so something that the health professional did or failed to do, actually was below that standard of care that is required. So in case maybe you are getting like a blood transfusion, and we know that usually they put the needle in your blood vessels, but this time around maybe they put it in your muscles, right? That is definitely below that standard of care that is required. And thirdly, you need to prove that because the person went below that standard of care, it caused harm or damage to you. So in case maybe because they put the needle in your muscles, maybe at the end your arms got swollen, that effect is due to them placing the needle in the wrong way. So being able to prove these three things kind of show that medical negligence actually came to play. And currently, in case there is a medical negligence, there is not a lot you can do right now because, I mean, the harm has already been done, but definitely, usually you kind of get some form of compensation to kind of take care of the harm that was done to you.
Yeah, so we are going to give examples, like real life examples of medical negligence. So a baby was born and then they had to do some tests, they had to do blood transfusion. And normally when they have to do this process, they have to like get the blood vessels. So they use these plastic things, they normally tie around the arm in order to find the blood vessels, the vein. So this nurse definitely placed this thing on the child, and then it was kind of hard for her to find the veins. But when she eventually found it, she forgot to remove it. And this thing was there on the child for more than 2 weeks. And before they realized, like, blood has stopped moving through this child's arms, like cells like were dying, and they had no option than to amputate the arm of this child. This is a huge example of medical negligence. Another one is a pregnant woman who went to the hospital to give birth, and they had to perform a cesarean section on this woman. And when they were done and they had to close up everything, what the woman said that they stitched her womb to the other part of her like body. So after some time, they realized like she had complications, and then they realized there was a huge need for another medical attention or another operation. And then they told her this was what happened and stuff like that. So this is also a huge example of medical negligence. So now we want to look at some of the things we can kind of do to reduce this. We all want to live long on this earth. We all want to, enjoy life with our loved ones. So what are the things we can do? And we are just kind of going to talk about these things.
Yeah. So for instance, some of the examples that Adjoa stated are very serious, but even sometimes it leads to like a loved one losing their lives, So like medical negligence is something that in Ghana, for instance, it happens a lot. It's very, very common. But the thing is, most cases are not reported. The reason being that, give it to God. Or like, nimrena son. Like it's the person's time to go. So because of these kind of ideas that we have, we don't bring medical negligence to the limelight. Also, in case you have to go to court, even sometimes getting money to get a lawyer is even like a problem in this case. And sometimes these court cases can go on for like 2 years, So sometimes it doesn't like motivate people to bring their cases to the limelight. But I encourage that, please, in case you have any case, make sure that you report it. The reason being that we all want to improve our health system or our health facilities. And if these cases are not brought up, people will overlook it. Because sometimes it's not that the doctors are intentionally trying to hurt you. I don't think any doctor does that with that intention. Right? Because sometimes, for instance, in our government hospitals, you have one doctor is catering for like 70 people. Sometimes he is tired. He has a lot of information. He can even mistake one patient for the other person, right? So so sometimes it's not an intentional thing. But if we are able to bring these cases out, it allows the health facilities as well as the government to know kind of the loopholes in their health system and try and figure out ways to kind of solve these challenges. So in case you have, what should you do in order to kind of improve or prevent some of these medical negligence to happen? One thing that I always say, that as much as doctors have a responsibility, as you as a patient, you also have a responsibility and a right. It's not just the doctor. Sometimes you also have to put the doctor in check. You have to help the doctor as well, right? So in case you go to the hospital, one of your rights is please seek information. Right? So sometimes you go to the consultant room. Oh, doctor, I have a headache. My stomach is paining me. The doctor listens to you and they write this drug, give you the book. Oh, go to the pharmacy and go and get this drug. Sometimes you leave the hospital without even knowing what exactly was wrong with you or even the drug that you are taking. So in case maybe you go to the hospital, ask the doctor, okay, so what is wrong with me? What drug are you giving me? Do these drugs have like side effect or health complications? Are there any alternatives that I can do in case I don't want to take these drugs? So please sometimes ask these kind of questions. It will help put the doctor in check. Sometimes the doctors don't tell you. Some doctors will naturally tell you, but some doctors won't tell you until you ask them. So make sure that you exercise that right very well.
And I will also recommend like doing these things, always double check. Like they give you something, is that your name? You said something. Was that thing on that thing, like paper or stuff like that? Like if you can't kind of read these things, at least you have to get someone to help you with this thing. Like so I took someone to the hospital, and then the doctor gave her another person's document, and this person was going to use this to go and take like the medication. So if I had not like double checked, definitely there would have been something like wrong at the end of the day. So always double check. And also for things like prescriptions, like sometimes you have the descriptions of the thing on the drug thing, so always like double check, like look at, like, for instance, the side effects. Is this what the doctor or the health professional, was this the thing he or she wanted to actually give to me. So you have to always look at these things.
Yeah.
It is very, very important.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And also please make sure that you keep records.
Yeah.
So in case they give you a drug or like a receipt or anything, make sure that you keep them. Don't throw it away. Because sometimes these harm, you realize it after treatment, not in the course of treatment. So, and sometimes you need to provide evidence to what the doctors did and all that. So in case you have your own evidence, you will be able to like present that to the lawyer or to the court. So make sure that you keep records, keep your receipts. Anything that the doctor tells you, just write it down, right? And as Adra said, make sure that if you go back, even though you might not know the drug, just Google. Nowadays, internet is everywhere.
Yeah.
Just Google and see what that drug does. So that will be an important thing as well.
And the last thing I want to add to this, please, like you have to make sure, or you have to ensure that our leaders and the people in charge of these things are responsible.
Yeah.
Like, as we said earlier, we have to really talk about these things. The same energy we put in, telling or forcing our leaders to provide infrastructures for us, we should use that same energy to talk about these issues. Like, we have to show them that these are some of the things we are really interested, and some of the things we want to improve, so that when they are making policies, when they are allocating resources to certain sectors and things, they will kind of look at these things as well. So we really have to kind of talk about these things. We really, really have to talk about these things. So this brings us to the end of this video. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, share,
and
subscribe to this
and
channel.
before we end, I also want to add that please, as a patient, make sure that you tell the doctor everything that is wrong with you. Because if maybe you are diabetic and you don't tell the doctor, and you know how in Ghana sometimes we don't, not one doctor take care of us. Today is this doctor, tomorrow is the other doctor. It's best if you find one doctor who just takes care of you. But in case you are changing doctors, make sure that you tell them your condition. Because the doctor might not know that you are diabetic, and they will give you a drug. And then it will kind of cause health complications. And later you come back and you be like, oh, you are the one who you are trying to kill me or something. Like, that is not fair, right? So please make sure that you tell the doctor everything that is wrong with you. And also, in case you have a case, one of the avenues that you can go to is the Ghana Medical and Dental Council. So these people are in charge of giving license to doctors and most of the health professionals. So in case you send a case to them, they can bring that doctor or that health professional into orders, or sometimes even provide punishment. And if that case is very serious, they can refer you to court as well. Or you can directly just find a lawyer and take the case to court. So in case you realize that you have there is a medical negligence that has caused harm to you, so one thing that you can do is that you have about 3 years according to law. This is in Ghana, not for everybody, please. So you have like 3 years to report that case. So the 3 years can start from when that incident happened. It can start from when you noticed that a harm has been done to you due to what a health professional did to you. Or in case you are a minor, you are under 18 years, and you had a case or you had a medical negligence that caused harm to you, and no elder person kind of sent that case to court, and now you are 18 and you feel that I need to take my case to court, that 3 years start from now. So please, let's try and report these cases. Let's try and make good use of our rights. Please, let's try and make good use of our rights. And the doctors are doing very, very well. Amazing. I mean, in this COVID season, some doctors are sacrificing their lives just to take care of us. There are some great doctors. But I would say this is like check and balance, right? We need each other. Even in government, you have the legislation, you have the executive,
you have the judiciary.
It helps keep each other in balance. So let's try as well, as patients, perform your rights, and that will also help the doctor to also keep in check, right? So please, let's make sure that we take very good note of that.
So thank you everybody for sticking with us. Please don't forget to like, share,
subscribe,
comment on this video. Till we meet again, always remember
you are loved. Bye.